Good evening, Ballsville. How you guys all doing tonight? Welcome to the show. We got a lot going on. It's been a crazy week 2 in the NFL, and a lot of injuries, of course. A lot of games that didn't quite go the way everybody thought they'd go. And anyways, we got a pretty good show tonight. Got some special guests that have never been here, and we also have some guys that have been here. So I'm going to introduce my co-host number 1, Jay. You're back on the show again, co-hosting tonight. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. Good to be here. Thank you for having me again.
All right, Ethan, you're on the show tonight. You're starting to get on these shows a little bit more often. I saw you were on with Alex El Presidente last night.
I'm enjoying it. I'm glad they all like me on the shows. Glad to be here. Glad that I could be on the show when the Bucks got a last-second win. Go Bucks!
All right, I like to hear that. And we got our friend Alex Tucci, my friend. I like to call him my second son, but Alex Tucci, professional rugby player on scene tonight. Alex, how you doing down there in South Florida, buddy?
I'm doing good. Staying dry. It's raining out here today.
All right, brother. I'm glad you made the show. I begged your mom to get a hold of you to get you out here. I appreciate you coming.
Happy to be here.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we're going to move into segment 1. Segment 1, we're going to talk a little bit about some of these games. We're going to talk about the Sunday blowout with the Lions and the Bears first. Ethan, what do you think about that game? Was Goff really 43 points? What was up with Goff?
Okay, so even last year when the Lions and Bears played, just high-scoring games like all the time. That was pretty much on display this time. Lions just, I don't know what it is, but even with Ben Johnson in Chicago, Lions just hung up 52 points. Amon-Ra had a field day. He had 3 touchdowns on him. Jimbo was catching long balls. Gibbs and Monty did their thing with a touchdown apiece. And then on the other side, I don't know if it was just garbage points or whatever, but Rome Odunze, he's going to have a breakout year. We're seeing it right here. He went off for like 32, 33 fantasy points. Caleb just needs to be more accurate, and obviously the Bears defense doesn't need to allow that many points to anybody. But, we like to see high-scoring games every now and then.
Right. Jay, talk to me a little bit about this squeaker we had Monday night. This I call it the squeaker game with the Bucks and the Texans. What'd you think about what went on yesterday?
Yeah, no, I thought it was highly competitive. I'm having some questions and concerns about Bucky. He had some good receptions, but he was 6 for 50, 17 carries, 71 yards. But and it may be my biasness because I had a parlay on him, but Rashad's taking a lot of the goal work from him. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out for the rest of the season, between in that green zone area between the 20s and the goal line. But as a whole, Baker did his thing, which was good to watch. He's been super consistent since last year. So good to see him keeping that up. And, Emeka Egbuka had another touchdown again. So he's starting to come into his own on the teams. And Mike Evans is Mike Evans. But I'm really thinking that the Bucs are going to have a good year. They're coming out 2-0. So excited to see what they do for the rest of the season, Jimbo.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that because I think I'll do a little Colin Hurd thing going on here where I talk about the ones I hit and the ones I missed. But I had Egbuka down for 3 touchdowns last week. He didn't get it. I thought the Bucs would throw the ball a little bit more, but that Texans defensive line, guys, let's give them credit. They were in the backfield. Mayfield was not happy in this game. He really was under a lot of pressure, so I don't think he was throwing 3 touchdowns to nobody. So I did miss that on my hot take last week. But I'm going to lead into this one here in this kind of I'll go halves on my hot takes. This one here, I'm going to call it the Sunday we all seen coming. The Chiefs and the Eagles. I had the Eagles beating the Chiefs, and boy, they put a spanking on them, man. I don't know when Andy Reid is going to get the idea that he needs a running back. I don't know about y'all, but I have had my fill of Pacheco. I have him. I've had him. He's sitting on my bench, and the next step is I'm getting ready to drop him. So if anybody be wanting Pacheco, come get him because I tell you what, until Andy Reid gets a running game going on, out there in Kansas City, they ain't doing nothing. That's just my take. What do you think about that, Ethan?
Yeah, Pacheco, I mean, I feel like Pacheco hasn't met his projections since, I mean, I don't know when the last time he even met
since
his
last year, since before last year, bro.
Before last year. I mean, he was underperforming last year too. I mean, I know they're giving Kareem Hunt some work too, but I mean, he's getting old. I mean, he's not your typical back either. I mean, I know they're giving him like some passing work and a few rushes a game, but yeah, I mean, if they can't get it going on with Pacheco, they need to look to somebody.
And then they
else.
signed Mitchell to this contract. They bring Mitchell in from the 49ers, okay, which I thought Mitchell was a pretty damn good running back. All right, they bring Mitchell in, and he'd been on a goddamn bench. He'd been on the bench. He'd been inactive both weeks. So what's up with that? Why even bring the kid in if he ain't going to play?
He still likes Pacheco and Hunt. He still thinks they're the guys.
You think so? Okay, so now I see they brought Clyde Edwards-Helaire back from the Saints. He signs a 1-year contract with the Saints during minicamp, and now they dump him. Okay, so Andy Reid brings him back when the kid was having all these issues mentally. He couldn't play the game, this and that. He was out. What the hell we bring him back for? What are they doing in the backfield in Kansas City, Jay?
They're not doing anything. They're going to have a losing season, and they're going to struggle because they don't have a running game. All of the pass catchers are down. We thought Hollywood was going to have a good week. He didn't, because he had a lot of targets week 1. But, yeah, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. And that AFC West is not anything to sneeze at this year. I mean, the Chargers are looking good. Like, there's some good teams there that's going to give them some really good competition. Yeah, and Denver's another good game too. So,
I think they're in trouble. And then they got a tight end that dresses like Hocus Pocus from some Wonderland Disney show coming in to play a football game dressed up in a suit with shorts on. I mean, come on, bro.
Taylor Swift effect.
He looked crazy. Kelsey wearing that stuff.
Well, we know one thing. The Chiefs' 9 straight division titles goes away this year. We know that much.
Hey, Tooch, what would happen if you walked into a game looking like Kelsey just looked?
I'd say, shoot, in rugby, that's like a fine. Like, they mostly just like, that's like what the punishment. You got to roll the dice. You roll the dice, you land on the outfit. You got to wear the outfit the entire week.
That's like a little bit of soap on a rope in the shower, I'm thinking. Anyways, all right. So we're going to move to this. We're going to talk a little bit about the Packers and the Colts with the early success of the seasons. All right, the Packers are looking really good. We all know they picked up Micah. They had a pretty stout defense as it was. We all know about the Danny Dimes background. I think both these teams that have had early success, that a whole lot of people weren't quite so sure what type of success they'd have. I'm surprised by the Colts. I'm surprised by the Packers. And Ethan, what do you think is going to happen with the Colts going forward?
Okay, Daniel Jones, he looks like that's his home. He looks like that's his place. He looks comfortable out there playing. If y'all have watched any football, right now, if you look at rankings, he's currently quarterback 2. I mean, who could have predicted that? Anybody? But no, he looks great out there. Indy they're playing good. Jonathan Taylor's running the ball really good right now. And did you want me to talk about the Packers too?
Yeah, you can go ahead and throw in the Packers. We got
Packers look legit. Packers defense look legit. The Lions just put up 52 points. The Packers played them. They struggled to do anything. I think they put up 14 points. Packers look legit on both sides of the ball. Obviously, receiver injury concerns is a thing in Green Bay, but I mean, Jordan Love's playing good. Tucker Kraft is taking a major step. Their defense is lights out. I mean, that might be a sleeper Super Bowl pick for some, but they're contenders.
Hey, Alex, you played defensive line all through your college career. Colorado State, you played for West Texas A&M. You played defensive line. Talk to me about Micah Parsons. I mean, is this guy good? What? Give me your lowdown on the Packers defense.
I'll say, I mean, Micah Parsons. We've known he's been good for a couple years now, and just I think the fact that he got pushed, like he kind of got pushed out of Dallas in a way. It seems like from an outsider looking in, and to go to the Packers, that first game he played, he was lightning. He was all over the field. I mean, he was running like when they say pursuit angles, he had pursuit angles. He was giving a lot of energy out on that field, and I think the Packers overall as an organization, it's like they don't miss. It's crazy. They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and they stay high, they go low for a little bit, and then they just come right back. They got Jordan Love, big tall quarterback out of the Utah State. Like anybody would look at he reminds me of like almost like the Mahomes effect. Comes from a smaller. I would say Texas Tech is a smaller school in the Texases. If you think about it, it's out there in West Texas. Same thing. You got Jordan Love out there in Utah State. Just Mountain West. Who's watching that? No one really. And then you throw them into a system like this, and an organization that knows what they're doing when it comes to player development. And then you add in the good defense they had last year. And then you add Micah Parsons to that. Right. It's just it's a no-brainer that they look like a team that like Ethan was saying that could be a Super Bowl contender for sure. They were in the playoffs last year. I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs last year, and they did it.
Jay, talk to me a little bit about these wide receivers for Indy. Do you think Pittman? Do you think Pierce? Do you think Downs? And with this new rookie tight end, do you think the passing game can survive and make the playoffs for the Colts?
Oh, 100%. I think they're in a good division to do that with. And, they actually have a quarterback that can get them the ball accurately. And I was really – sucks for Anthony Richardson, but as far as for my pass catches that I have stake in redrafts, they're going to eat this year. And they actually have somebody competent to get them the ball. And Tyler Warren has just been everything that I hoped he was going to be because I was grabbing him everywhere, Pauls. But he's been doing a good job as far as like just because Danny Dimes is going to dunk that thing off to him, and he's been eating it up as far as like the first couple of weeks of the season. So just excited to see as he gets his legs under him as the season progresses, if he can keep that tight end for position.
Right. All right, guys. Well, we're going to move into our next segment here, and I'm going to call this the quarterback emergency room at Tampa General. Because it just seemed like they started dropping. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the injuries going on in the quarterbacks that we can go all the way from being real hurt to having surgeries to sprained ankles, high ankle sprains to possible knee injuries and concussion protocols. So, let's start off. First of all, let's start off with J.J. McCarthy, because I didn't have faith in this guy. I traded him off, and Mr. Fitzgerald, Scotty, I love you, but I'm glad you got J.J. McCarthy. Anyways, so Ethan, talk to me a little bit about J.J. McCarthy and this injury that he's in, and what in the hell is Minnesota going to do going forward?
All right, so I think Minnesota would be is in a bind, was in a bind, is in a bind now. McCarthy hasn't even looked great, but I see that he's got a high ankle sprain. I heard that he's going to be out from 2 to 4 weeks. That Minnesota offense we've seen hasn't looked too good, and I'm surprised they even got that Bears win somehow in the fourth quarter, week 1. But McCarthy really hasn't looked that good. They're going to be bringing in Carson Wentz. I don't even know when the last time Wentz has played football, but I mean, I would be excited for the pass catchers at least like Jettas and Hawkinson hasn't done nothing, but I imagine they'd put up better stats with Wentz at the helm. I mean, he's still a veteran quarterback. If he has anything in the tank, that's to be determined. But McCarthy hasn't looked to be what
it looks like Jones. It looks like Jones is going to be out too. They're saying it looks like Jones. But hey, Alex, you got a little piece of Wentz back in college, didn't you? You done beat up on him a little bit, didn't you? You played against Carson Wentz, didn't you?
Yeah. I would say we beat up on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz kind of came and took it to us.
Oh, okay.
He was good. This is when he was good. That people forget. People forget when he came to the Eagles. He was doing some numbers, and then ACL and something up there must have switched off, or I don't know.
But you did play him back in college, right?
Yeah. I played against him. Good dude.
All right. Hey, Jaden Daniels, we're going to go ahead and stay on your Commanders. You had the receiving core you talked about last week, and now we got Jaden Daniels with a possible knee injury. It's looking like I think they may just take their time with him this week, see how it goes, maybe play him, maybe not play him. Give me the lowdown on what you think is going to go on with Daniels.
Yeah, with the knee injury to being this early in the season, I think the best course of action is going to be to sit him. We got a competent backup in Marcus Mariota there that can get us a game or two, at least make us competitive and have some people make some plays. But, I mean, the challenge that we're having is that he gets hit way too much, and he slides. He's better than RG3 was for us. But, so he does a great job getting down. But, he gets hit way, way too much. So we're going to have to do a better job of protecting him when he gets back in there so we can – keep them upright so we can try to get back to where we were last year.
Right. All right. Now, Justin Fields plays for the Jets and not the Steelers. And I know, Alex, you like the Jets. You're a fan of the Jets. But talk to us a little bit about concussion protocol in pro sports. What happens in rugby when you get a concussion? And compare that to the NFL in the protocol the NFL has. Is it the same in professional rugby? Your mic's off, Alex.
You're still off.
Oh my gosh,
Alex,
sorry. Muted myself and
That's
muted
okay.
on this thing. But I would say it's fairly similar now with all the concussions that have all the attention that's brought to concussions. But you basically
you guys don't even play with a goddamn helmet.
So you actually have a mouth guard and it has a sensor in it. So if you get a hit that's a high contact to the head or receive a high contact, it'll flash. That'll give whoever's looking for it the cue. They'll pull you off. They'll do a concussion test, and they actually they'll say water, dog, Sprite, this, and then they'll go back through that list, and you have to name all the things, and then they do a bunch of number things. But if you end up if you have a concussion, you go through a week of just these tests and everything. Then you have to return the play, get on the field, move around, so you see if you'll get dizzy. It's a whole thing. I got flagged for one. It was awful. I didn't have a concussion. I just split my eye open, and the mouth guard read high impact. But.
Right. So we're looking. You're thinking probably with Fields they're going to decide and play out the
at least a week.
We'll see how it goes.
At least a week. He's going to have to be in it. If he had to come out of the game for it, then he has to. I would say at least a week. There's no you have to when you're taken out of a game. It's kind of a week at least.
While we're on the head injuries with concussions and stuff, Alex, talk to me a little bit about what it's like to take a hit in the head without a helmet compared to your days of playing college football with a helmet. I mean, obviously it hurts more probably without one, but is there more concussions in rugby than there is football?
I would say it's fairly similar across the board. I mean, in rugby, they teach you to tackle without your head. So you're using a lot of shoulder. Your head's to the outside of the body. You're not going cross body like in football. But I mean, you get hit in the head. It's kind of like you have no helmet, no nothing. And then in football, I mean, the helmets help a lot. I would use my helmet all the time. I mean, I played D-line, so I'd hit with it, right, immediately hit the offensive lineman, shed it. And then when you go to make a tackle, it's like the first thing it feels like you're hitting face mask on.
Right.
I've broken a helmet or two, but
that's good. That's good. That's good defense. All right. Joe Burrow, the elephant in the room. This cat's not going to play. He's already had surgery. He's out for 3 months. Okay, this is going to affect the passing game somewhat. I know a few years back when Burrow was out, Browning did a hell of a job. He came in, he kept the fort upright till Burrow got back. I don't really look for this team to lose much in the passing game. I really, really don't. If anything, I think Brown's going to have an uptick in the running game. I think Gesicki may pick up, if you look back at some of the stats, Browning, he threw to the tight end a little bit more than he did downfield, but he's still a good quarterback. Ethan, what do you think about this Burrow injury, how it's going to affect Cincinnati?
I mean, like you said, I remember it wasn't that long ago when Browning, had to take over for Burrow, and he played pretty good. He looked like he belonged out there. You can only start 32 starters in the league, and he looked like he really belonged. I don't see Cincinnati's offense really taking a hit that much. I'm sure he's going to find a way to win them some games, make a playoff push. I wouldn't worry if you had Jamar Chase or Chase Brown. I mean, they should. I mean, I think they would be just fine if he shows anything like he showed us 2 years ago.
What about you, Jay? What do you thinking this injury is going to cause with Cincinnati? Are they going to miss the playoffs over it, or do you think they can, keep the house intact till Burrow gets back, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think their offense is functional enough that they can kind of keep it patched together till Burrow gets back, but it's going to be tough because, I mean, again, they're in a tough division because you got the Ravens there as well. Who knows what the Steelers are going to be this year, but they're always going to be, competitive and be at least 500. But I think they have enough talent on offense. If he can do a good job, like Ethan was saying, as far as getting the ball to, their playmakers and letting them make plays, which they have plenty of, across the board there, they could be able to keep it together to try to at least be a wild card team. And then, maybe Joe can come back in at the end of the season and kind of get them where they need to go.
All right, guys. Ethan, Jay, I'm going to put you guys on the sideline. We're going to move into segment 3. I'm going to bring you back here in just a little bit, so feel free to grab a Coke or do whatever you guys got to do for a minute. We're going to bring Alex in and kind of highlight his story and talk a little bit of rugby right now and a little bit of college football from his days in college and his actual tryout that he did with the Miami Dolphins when he came out of college to try to make the team. So I'm going to highlight his segment, and I'm going to put you guys on the sideline for just a minute, all right?
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys. All right. Alex, it's me and you, kid.
What's up, Jim?
We go kind of way back, not necessarily me and you, but, we met your mom way back in 2000 and I'm going to say it was in 2004.
Yeah.
We met your mom down in Key West, and we ended up coming to your house during a hurricane, believe it or not, in Weston, Florida, when I met you. And I think you were all of about 12 years old, took you to your first Miami Dolphins game as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did real good in sports. You became a real good football player. You got a full-blown scholarship. You had a chance to play at South Carolina. You had some decisions to make as a young man. You ended up falling into Colorado State is where you ended up playing your first year in football as a college football player. Talk to me a little bit about your journey in your college football journey that got you where it got you, and then we'll pick it up from West Texas when you got there.
Yeah. Definitely. So when I went to Colorado State, I mean, it was a pretty cool experience just in general. I remember I was working out in high school. My coach came up to me and he kind of was like, "Hey, you got to visit the Colorado State." I was like, "Oh, okay." When I got there, the coach, Steve Fairchild, brought me in his office when we had one of the dinners, and he was like, "Hey, you have a scholarship here." And I was like, "Really?" It's kind of news to me. But it was a cool visit. Snowed, went out with the guys, saw how they did things. And I just I was like, this is so different than what I'm used to back home in Florida. And I kind of want to experience that. So went out to signed with Colorado State. Went out there. I went out there as an offensive guard. And then after my second year there, I kind of was like not seeing the field like how I wanted. I was kind of like, all right, I got to move the defense. I was faster. I was leaner. I was stronger than a lot of offensive linemen. So I was like, I can beat these guys. Like, I should go be playing defense. So I made the switch over to defensive line. And that following season, I started every game for Colorado State at nose guard. And that was that was so cool at just the time. The first game we played was Colorado versus Colorado State at Invesco Field or Sports Authority Park, whatever they call it now in Denver, where Denver plays. So I got to play there. It was like 60,000. Fans going crazy, rivalry game, and I got like a QB, like I didn't get a sack, but he like intentionally grounded it. I remember I just beat the center, came around the corner, and I was like, oh shit, the quarterback's right there. I was like, my eyes I was like, is that the quarterback? Like first play, I was like, this is the quarterback right here, right? And from there it was just a good, really good experience, and it was just something I can always say I did. So that was fun.
And then shortly after that, you got transferred. Talk to me a little bit about the transfer to West Texas A&M.
Yeah, so the transfer to West Texas A&M, there it is. I'll be very transparent. I wasn't the greatest student in college. So I kind of had some issues there with the coaches. They kind of like, were like, we're gonna let you go. I was like, all right, you guys can do that, I guess. So I had actually West Texas reach out to me. I was looking at a couple D1 AA schools, but West Texas came to me and they were like, hey, come to West Texas. You can play another year of football. So I didn't play my second year at Colorado State. So I got that year back by going to West Texas. I was like, all right. That was a plus, and they were like ranked high in Division II. They were one of the best teams in Division II, one of the best programs. So to go out there, it was like when I went there my first year, we were ranked. I think we're ranked in top Division II schools in the country. Pretty much everyone that I played with on that team was a really good not NFL player, but a really good bounce back from Division I. So it was like a bunch of Division I guys at D2. Ethan Westbrook, who was our nose guard there, nose guard D end. Not nose guard, but D end. He played for the Rams. He played for the Raiders for a little bit, so it was good talent there. Even a quarterback and stuff. But I mean, that was probably where I became my best football player. I would say I had a really
Speaking
good
of best football player, when you came out of West Texas and it was time to look towards the NFL. I know I was so excited. I thought for sure, man, this kid's going to get drafted. I was so excited. Me and Lisa were always sitting here talking. We're going to see this guy get drafted. We're going to go watch him play football. Talk to me a little bit about after you left college football and you tried out for the Miami Dolphins after you didn't make the draft.
Yeah, so didn't make the draft. I kind of figured I wasn't going to get drafted to be a Division II player. I was really good All-American at the Division II level, so I had that under my belt. But just you don't see too many guys get drafted from Division II schools. My agent at the time got me invited to a tryout with the Dolphins. It went really well. I performed well. I felt like I just think like my name didn't have so much standing behind it. Which is fine. I came to terms with it after, like, the guy I was sitting next to eating lunch with after the tryout, he was like on ESPN earlier that day. So it's like I'm competing with guys that have all this clout, and at the end of the day, this is a business, NFL's a business. Businesses get made every day. So
after that didn't happen, your first love really was not football. It was actually rugby. Talk to me a little bit about your rugby game.
So, with rugby, I mean, I started playing football and rugby at the same time in high school. Like, football was in the fall, rugby was in the spring, and I got into that, and I really loved it. I felt like I could be like my true dynamic self in that game. I mean, you can see I could run the ball, I tackle, play defense. You have so many more intricate parts as a big guy than just being a guy that pushes.
You are a big guy, Alex. You're what, 6'3", 270?
Yeah, 6'3", 265, 270. I'm right around that. It's kind of where I stay at usually. I never go higher or lower. I was higher when I was playing football. So rugby, a lot more running. Get to be a lot more leaner, look a lot better. I feel like, but yeah. So I mean, rugby is always awesome. Being a big guy that can just run the ball, like, dude, any big guy, you'd be like, yeah, you think you can get a couple yards? Yeah, give me the ball, I'll do it. And that's what rugby let me do. It let me express myself in that way and be a playmaker. Get to be like kind of that, put the ball in my hand, let me do what I do kind of vibe. Where football is you're kind of very selfless. You're blocking for somebody. You're making the tackle. Defense gives you some glory, but not all the glory. The guys catching the touchdowns, those are the ones with the glory. So rugby as a guy, I mean, it allows you to score when you're not used to scoring a lot.
So now you made your rounds a little bit with rugby. You started off up in Utah. You ended up doing a stint down in Dallas. And then what I like to look at is you came back home. You ended up at Miami Sharks. Talk to us a little bit about that journey from Utah to Dallas and then back to Miami.
So all the places I got to play, I was fortunate to play in Utah for 4 years, Dallas for 2. And I mean, Utah I just have nothing but good things to say about Utah. They took me in. The culture of people out there are really, really nice. And there's a lot of Polynesian, so like island people from like Tonga, Samoa, and those are some of the nicest people you ever meet. They like literally like I had nothing when I went out there, and they would give me anything off their back. But as far as rugby went, that's why they believed in me. I got to go out there, play the game that I love, keep getting better at it, being at top facilities, and then when my time was there was done, it was done. And then I went and signed with Dallas, which was another great place. I mean, it's a cool spot to live, Dallas, Texas. You know, it has that kind of vibe to it just when you say the name. You got Fort Worth right there, so you kind of put. I feel like all of my journeys around have been just places that I wouldn't be accustomed to living. You know, you got Colorado in the mountains, you got Utah, the mountains, you got Texas, you got the West Texas, which is in the middle, in Amarillo, all on the plains and everything. You got
And
Dallas.
let's face it, Alex. We haven't talked about this. Your family's from New York City, from the
Yeah,
Bronx. Brother.
exactly.
Your
My
mama's
family's
from the Bronx.
so I'm a city boy, just experiencing all these different things. I mean, in Dallas, you got Fort Worth right there. It's like the cowboys, like woo-ha, yeehaw, like swinging. You see cattle, you see tumbleweeds. You don't see that in the Bronx or even in Florida. You see palm trees and stuff.
All right, so you end up back in Miami playing for the Sharks.
Yep.
How'd that all happen?
So once I was done with Dallas, I kind of knew my time was done. And I knew Miami was coming into the league. So when my agent my agent Matt, he hit me up and was like, "Hey, you ready to make a move to a different team?" I was like, "Yes." Let's try Miami. Literally got back to me week later, maybe, or a couple days later, and was like, "Hey, I got you a contract with them." So that was just awesome. And when I found out they were even like playing at we play at where the Inter Miami team plays, and that's in Fort Lauderdale. Everything is Fort Lauderdale based. I grew up here. I was like, this is the best possible scenario you can ever have. Like you said, full circle. Like it's crazy. Friends I used to play rugby with in high school and stuff that I haven't seen in years come to the games. It's a very rewarding experience in that whole atmosphere of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. So now take me to the end of kind of where we're headed with professional rugby in the United States. I know the league has been experiencing some problems.
Yeah.
Ownerships are dropping. Rugby's not really getting the money coming in they needed to keep going. Tell me about what's going on. I know the Miami Sharks have been one of the recent ones to throw the towel in. And what's your plan going forward as a professional athlete?
Yeah, so as far as the league goes, I mean, it's tough. It's a startup company essentially. You're starting up your own startup company, and if business doesn't take off the way that you expect, I mean, the only thing you can do is really kind of shut down operations, and we're seeing that a lot happen to a lot of teams around the league. It's sad. It's sad to see it happen. I mean, we're fortunate that some teams stuck around for eight years at least. The league's been going on for 8 years now. And there's some teams still holding on, but I mean, it just seems like something. The way I see it as a player is you find out when everyone else finds out. So
Right.
there might be still things coming along. Who knows? Hopefully positive things. But and as far as myself with Miami going under, I mean, we're just kind of taking it day by day, just seeing what opportunities come up in the future, and if those opportunities make sense. I mean, I'm getting older. I'm 33. I have a good job doing personal training, and I really enjoy that passion of it. And if I could fit rugby in there at a high level professionally, then that's great. I mean, if that's overseas, like I said, I'm taking everything day by day right now. And when the opportunity presents itself to me, I'll evaluate it and see where, if it outweighs what I got going on right now.
All right. It wouldn't be a talk about rugby if I didn't bring in you as a professional expert witness. Give me your take on the Eagles tush push.
All right. So the Eagles tush push, I mean, I'm not against it. I think it's it's got to be some type of an illegal formation. I mean, you have all the linemen pointed in. They got to make some type of rules about it. I mean, before the tush push, you had the QB sneak. Well, I mean, it's not that much different, but they're just chopping. I don't know. I like it, but I mean, at the same time, I see where the controversy is with it. It's an illegal.
Is it a rugby play or is it a football play?
I'd say it's more football. I mean, well, I mean, rugby has some elements that share with football, and I would say if you're like, it's very similar to what we do as forwards when we're like trying to score right next to the goal line. So we're just like two people binded up together, one with the ball, and we're just trying to get the ball down on the ground in the goal line. So it's very similar to that aspect, or a maul in rugby. It's another thing you'll see where people are just throwing their bodies into one another all in one big cluster, you would say. It's definitely taken somewhere in a football. I mean, in a rugby, like the football took that from rugby for sure. They definitely had to have.
All right, Alex. I want to make sure and tell you thanks before I bring the other two guys on. As a kid growing up, I taught you how to tie your first necktie going off to college, and I'll never forget that. Your mom's a true friend of mine, friend of my wife, and I look at you as a second son. I've always been excited about every move you made. I've followed you all through your college career and into your rugby career. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. You're going to stay on. I'm going to bring these other two guys on. We're going to continue the show. And I just want to say thanks, and we'll be looking to see what Alex Tucci's doing in the future.
Definitely. Thank you. It's a pleasure being on, and always a pleasure to hang out with you, Jim.
All right,
Appreciate
buddy.
you.
Get these other two guys back on here. And here we go. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for letting us do that. I appreciate you guys coming back up with us. A little switcheroo. Ethan, you got ahead of him in there. I don't know how you did it. But now we're going to move into the waiver wire targets. We're going to talk a little bit about waiver wire targets that may be out there. We all know who is probably going number one this week. And Jay, talk to me a little bit about Jake Browning. What do you think about him?
Oh, yeah. Jake Browning, I think he's good. I think he's going to be a solid pickup if you're able to get him on your waivers. He's going to be somebody you can plug in.
You going to target him? Are you going after him?
Oh, definitely a super flex for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be running into the bye weeks pretty soon. So, like, even if you have a couple of starters that you feel confident in, I'd still be aggressive on my bids just because you want to make sure. And then you can sell them to somebody who may need them as well. So it'll give you a couple of leverage, but then also security.
Another guy I'm looking at, in only because of the wide receiver room, I'm not real, high on how Hunter has done up there for the Jags. This Diami Brown for the Jags. What do you think about him, Ethan? You think he's worth picking up? I know he's available in a lot of waiver wire leagues. I mean, if you look at this kid's points, he's producing, solid fantasy points. Hunter's playing both sides of the ball. He's getting average fantasy points. I think this kid is worth picking up. What do you think?
I think there's a shot to be made picking up him. Brian Thomas has some. I think it's some little injury. He's questionable, but I don't think it's nothing major. Hunter's on both sides of the ball. If he's not getting as many offensive snaps as he should, I think it's a look that he might be a look to pick him up.
All right. Well, I know I'm high on Juwan Johnson. I've liked this guy even when Hill was playing tight end, playing / quarterback in the Saints. This guy's been producing points. I mean, he's a big guy. He's got great hands. He played a lot of wide receiver. He's been producing points the last 2 weeks, and he's still available as a tight end. Juwan Johnson, I mean, Alex, what do you think about big tight ends? Do you think, pass catching tight ends, do you think they're an asset to a fantasy football team?
I think so. Especially just because quarterbacks can always just dump it off to them, They're like
right.
A safety net. Who the guy from the Colts, the one that you talked about earlier? I mean, he's
Tyler Warren.
He's amazing, even as a deep threat. But just to have him to throw it off to, I mean, get a couple yards here and there, get easy touchdowns on play actions.
Right. Now, Jay, you and I talked a little bit about this kid. I picked him up in a bracket league that I'm in, and this kid from Tennessee, this wide receiver. Alik Ayaman.
Alec Ayomanor.
We did with these guys' names.
Some variations of such, but no, he's been good since Stanford. I think he fell in the draft because of injuries, but I mean, I think what's exciting to see what's going on with him is that he's been earning targets. So he had 7 targets in week 1, only caught 2 receptions. So I don't think he wasn't on many people's radars last week, but he went off. I think he had around 15 fantasy points. He had 16 targets. He had 22% target share. So, and it's not, like I said, it's not just the vacant targets. He's against Tyler Lockett, who's like a shell of himself. And then he's competing with Calvin Ridley for targets, which if Calvin Ridley is just Calvin Ridley, I think he has a space and a place in this offense. So somebody I was targeting last week, and then I'm trying to get him as well this week too.
What round was he? Do you know, Jay, what round what the Titans got him in the draft?
Oh, I do not. I want to say fourth, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this kid, and I kind of saw, the way he was just kind of putting himself on the field, and he just looked like a guy Ward was going to hook up with, and I was a little desperate, and I was reaching for a wide receiver in a couple leagues, and I picked him up, and he had a hell of a week this week 2.
Yeah, so, more to come, I think. More to come.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's more to come with him also. And then now we're going to move into segment 4. This is something that I think all of us in the fantasy world are dealing with, is these rookies not living up to the draft hype. And, without these deep benches in regular redrafts. Now, I know some of you guys that are new to Ballsville, you guys aren't accustomed to our deep rosters, our deep benches. We carry more people on our rosters, so that makes for a pretty thin waiver wire in our redraft league. So that's something that takes a little getting used to. Jay, we were talking earlier, you're in some ESPN redrafts, and some guys you were saying are available. You were asking me earlier in the prep, hey, man, who should I go after? And I'm like, shit, man, them dudes ain't even on our waiver wires at Ballsville. They're on somebody's roster. I got to be trading for him. And so it's a little different at Ballsville. So guys that are new to Ballsville, it'll take some getting used to, but you'll be happy to know you have them on there, and don't be afraid to make trades for some of those guys that you think, why in the hell would somebody want this guy? But you just never know with these Ballsville degenerates. So talk to me a little bit, Jay, about the draft hype, and I know you're wanting to talk about a couple guys, so take it away and let me know what you're thinking about some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think just coming off week 2, and it's like I'm trying to figure out, like, am I panicking or am I going to hold steady? Because, I mean, you don't want to overreact, because these guys don't get much of a preseason like they used to, and it may take them into the second half of the season to get going. We saw something similar with Bijan and Gibbs in their rookie year, but I want to see flashes, and I want to see you in good offenses too. And I think I'm having some concerns around a couple of the running backs for sure. Like RJ Harvey, it's the Sean Payton maze of crazy that he's in right now, right? Like, so they're giving a lot of touches to a lot of running backs there. He's not demanding that, but they spent a second round pick on him. So I'm trying to hold on that. The running back from Boise, I think he's good, but again, their offense is trash, and he's not really good in pass pro. So I don't really know how many of the reps he's going to get, because he looked really bad yesterday.
So are you already throwing out offensive rookie of the year for Jenny?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be in his cards. No, I would be surprised because I just don't know if they're going to if Genty's going to be in a good enough offense throughout the year to be able to warrant that. And because of the level of competition in the Mountain West, I have concerns. So I'm definitely, especially with the cost that you paid for acquisition to get him in a draft, I just don't know if he's going to be able to return that throughout the year. So I'm worried about him. Travion Henderson, I'm holding steady with him. I think he's going to be okay. I think he was, in my opinion, he got buzzed up in drafts, but he was always going to be a week 4 play and beyond. You should have drafted your team around that with that intention that he's not, because he's dealing with Ramondre Stevenson as well in that backfield, and he had a good game last week. So I'm good with Stevenson, but I'm pushing the panic meter on Genty right now.
All right, so Ethan, let's talk a little bit about the pub sub bet you got going on with Hunter. I know you want to talk about this kid. You want to talk about Johnson. Do you think Hunter's draft hype, everybody thought he could do both, didn't think he could do both? He's not doing one or the other all that great as far as I'm concerned. So talk to me a little bit about Hunter.
Yeah, I think as time moves forward, I think eventually, maybe even not this year, but he's going to have to play with either one side of the ball or the other side of the ball. Like, eventually he's going to have to choose one. But I have no concerns about him. I don't think he's not going to – I mean, what I'm saying is I don't think he's going to be a top 30 receiver at all. I mean, there's people that I didn't think are going to be top 30 now. And like we said about De'Ami Brown, finding a role in the offense, I mean, that's just going to push him further out of, target shares and everything. So yeah, I don't think Travis Hunter. I mean, I don't think he's going to be on the ball that much to be a top 30 receiver or nothing like that.
Okay, Alex, let me ask you a question. You've played both sports. You've played college. You had a chance to possibly go pro, so you got a pretty good idea of what it takes to be a pro football player in the NFL. Do some of these kids talk to me a little bit about Hunter? You were out there around Colorado. Is it possible this kid plays both sides of the ball? Is he getting educated to figuring out that it's probably not going to be doable to do both of them well? What's your take?
I think kind of like how Ethan said, like he's gonna have to pick one or the other. I think at the NFL it's a little bit. It just looks like it's maybe a little too much, like a lot of pressure. And like he said, for him to get his hands on the ball. It's not like he's the first choice, Right. I think he plays. I think he just focuses on corner, sticks to corner, and he could be a really good cornerback in the NFL. And go
so
down
now, do you think all of us fantasy gurus and I know you don't play a whole lot of fantasy, but do you think we probably all learned a lesson on this that we should have stayed away from this kid playing offensive wide receiver if he even had the inclination to play in defense too?
I don't know. It's hard to pass that up because you never know. I feel like it was a good risk that everyone kind of. If you took him, I mean, at this point you kind of know now what it looks like. We didn't really know too much what it was going to look like. We were hoping similar to what he did at Colorado, at least, but it's a tougher game. It's a tougher game. From college to pros, it's different.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Loveland, tight end for Chicago. A lot of people had this guy way up in draft boards. I don't think he's as good a tight end as what they already had. I just don't. He may be a good pass catcher. He might even be a better wide receiver, but this kid's not producing anything that I can see. So I've lost all hopes of Loveland in any redraft situation I got, and he'll be coming off any redraft team I got shortly. I'll probably keep him in dynasties, just because he's a rookie. And then the other one I'm a little worried about is Golden. I think the Reed injury kind of helps Golden hang on a little bit, but I'm not too all impressed with this kid either going in the first round to Green Bay. I mean, it's already a packed wide receiver room as it is over there. They just pay Watson. Jay, what do you think about them paying Watson? What do you think about Golden out there with the Packers?
Yeah, never been a Watson believer. I think they could have gave me that money if they were just giving it away. But for Golden, I think you're right about the Reed injury helping him out. He had some chances the other night, but I think they just spread the ball around too much. So it's kind of almost like I was saying about the Denver backfield, and it's just similar. It's like it's just like you never know what you're going to get from him from week to week. And until I see some consistency with them, I'm keeping him on my bench. He's not going to make my starting lineup at all.
Hey, Ethan, talk to me about Hampton out there in Sarah land. What do you think about Sarah's boy Hampton and Harris and that backfield out there? What was Hampton overhyped?
Right now is kind of looking like he is, but I'm still high on Hampton. Like Jay has been saying, I want to see him, get a few explosive plays down. I want to see that Harbaugh has trust in him because, I seen towards the end of the game yesterday that, he was giving Najee the touches, but also it was a blowout game. So, I mean, I'm hoping that it was just a situation that was a blowout, so you're playing your backup. And Hampton's been disappointing. Fantasy numbers, stats are just like, if you're watching the game, I mean, it's getting blown up back in the backfield, and Herbert's just airing the ball out to the three-headed monster over there in LA. The offense looks good. I just want to see more, the rushing attack we thought we were going to see coming from LA. I want to see Hampton, show him that he's a first round pick. Show him that, he can be a Bijan or a Gibbs or, whatever.
So when it comes to draft time, Jay, in in all of us fantasy degenerates, we're all sitting around, high on these draft picks. Do you think 2025 is a learning curve for fantasy degenerates to say, hey, look, maybe going into 2026, we're not going to be so high on some of these guys? Or do you think it's just a sickness and a rush that we all do just to get through draft season and realize that, hey, here it is week 2 and some of these rookies are not really killing it?
Yeah, no, I think we're going to make this same. We're going to drink from the same fountain again. I mean, I think because the NFL is making the same bets we are, right? Like, Genty went first in dynasty leagues, and he went high in redrafts because the NFL put a lot of faith in him as far as his draft stock. Same thing with Hampton. So I mean, we're following their keys, and I feel like I think the Travis Hunter probably be, but we don't really. He's a generational talent. You don't see guys playing both sides of the ball that often. So I think we're gonna go back to the well next year. I know I will, because there's some people out there I think that I like. Nick Singleton is one of them, and we'll see who kind of emerges throughout the college season. But if they get that draft stock, I'm gonna take my shots on it and then kind of let the dice go and roll how they may.
Yeah, my USF Bulls got their ass whipped by the Hurricanes down there, boy. Man, that was an ass whipping. But anyways, so all right, guys. So that's our rookie program. If you got any waiver wire thoughts, guys, you can hit us up in Discord. The waiver wire channel is now open. You can get in there, and I know Chris, sorry for cussing's been in there. Ethan, you guys have been in there. I'm really proud of the guys at Ballsville. You guys, we keep the chats going. Some of these guys have fallen off, but the regulars are in there. I really like to see all the folks talking about the week's games, the players, and I really enjoy the Ballsville community and how we share each other's thoughts. And Bubbles over there in the trades and the sits and starts and all the stuff going on. Alex and the staff work so hard to put that Discord together. Guys, take advantage of it, and you still got Sticky Picky's tools, guys. You need to be hitting that up and using it before you got to start paying for it. Sticky don't work for peanuts. So he showed you guys that he can produce a nice product. Go in there and use it. Ethan, how's the DFS thing coming with JoJo and Sticky, and how's all that coming along? I know I was not able to play because of the DraftKings law, but how's DFS going?
It's going good. We got a good group of 12 people. We compete every week. Week 1, everybody's scores were similar. Week 2, Chris, sorry for cussing, he blew everything out the water, so he's got a good lead on us right now. It's fun. Looking forward to Sundays, and even if you're low in the rankings or something, every week's a new week, and you get weekly payouts if you're the top scorer. So, you can take that home with you at the end of the year. And then there's, of course, your grand prize at the end of the year for the top 3 winners. So it's something to look forward to every week, just $200 a year if people are interested next year. It's a good investment, I think. It's fun. You get to use it all year. So you get to enjoy it all year. So good
yeah,
investment.
just think about it, guys. Playing DFS and playing some of the things that we do here at Ballsville, it's a lot better to give your money to I look at it as giving your money to a teammate. We're all friends, kind of. I'd rather see us giving the money to each other and put it back in the programs, kind of the way I look at it. But anyways, enjoy the DFS. Get to looking at Sticky Picky stuff going on. Don't forget, guys, we got some other stuff coming up this week. The rundown, you had the gauntlet last night. Ethan, I know you took part in that a little bit with Alex last night. You guys had a good show. Nice little recap. I wish Alex would spend a little bit more time on it than he does, but I know he doesn't want to keep anybody from watching the game. He does it at halftime. But I'm really interested to see where this thing goes. This gauntlet thing is so fun. It's so cool. And then we got Sarah, tomorrow on the soundboard on Wednesday nights. And then we got Alex's Ballsville update. You never know. He may have some young blood coming in to help him out on this show. I'm kind of looking forward to the Ballsville update, kind of becoming a newsroom type of look. And then we got JoJo and Connor getting going on the Dynasty Bill. So don't miss these podcasts, guys. We we got a lot of guys working hard, bringing them to you. So try to watch these as much as you can. And Sarah will be on tomorrow night. I know she's going to have a good show. I know I miss her tech stuff. I am learning to do these slideshows and all this stuff at 59 years old. And yes, I know everybody's been out there talking about my birthday. Yes, I am going to be an old man on Sunday. So thank you to my lovely wife. She has a good day planned. We're going to go play some Texas Hold'em. So we're going to move into segment 5. Alex, this is kind of close to home with you. We do this down here in Tampa. You're a little further south down there. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, seeing as how you've been sitting there. Yeah, I kind of did that to Bryce last week too. But anyways, we call this Would You Rather. This is where we ask a guest or one of the hosts what you'd rather do. So you got to make a choice here, Alex. Alex, would you rather attend a Yankees World Series? Because I know you're a Yankees fan from way down. Would you rather attend a Yankees World Series game in New York, or would you rather have a 1-year free pass to a New York Jets suite for every game for 1 year?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I would say the Jets suite, honestly, for 1 year. I don't know why. I think I've seen Yankees win the championship on like TV a couple times throughout my life.
We're talking World Series, though, bro.
World Series, yeah, one game of the World Series, 7 games. You know, it's
right?
There's 5 games. I don't know. I feel like going to every Jets game would just be like an experience.
In a suite to boot.
Yeah, in a suite. You know, food, like you got all that stuff in it. Drinks, food. Taking the suite every game. Bringing a girl with me, So
the Jets it is. You better pick up the pace if you're going to get them in there. All right. So now, Ethan, would you rather win DFS week parlay for $200 or win 1 top seed in the Gauntlet League before Guillotine Week?
I'll go with the first option. I'll take the DFS 200 winnings. I feel like Gauntlet. I feel like if you make it past the guillotine portion, I feel like if no matter what seed you are, you can still knock somebody off if you're whatever else seed. So I'd probably take the DFS side.
You're going to take the quick money and spend it somewhere else in your fantasy world, right?
That's right.
All right, here you go, Jay. Jay, would you rather have 2 free tickets to your favorite NFL team home playoff game, or would you rather win 3 Devy League championships in 1 year?
Yeah, so let me explain. I'm going to go with the winning the Devy leagues, but let me explain this because I'm a Commanders fan and I'm from Boston and I hate the cold. So like I to be outside in January, February in DC cold, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be in the house with my winnings, having me a nice beer, enjoying the game from the house. So it's
right.
Strictly
so another fantasy degenerate taking
fantasy
that big money with the 3 Devy League wins. All right, so now here's Jimbo's. Jimbo, would you rather hit 50% of your hot takes for the whole year, or would you rather win Player of the Year at Ballsville? Well, guys, I guess I'm a company man, and I'd love nothing more than to have Connor hand me that trophy. So I'm going to go ahead and take the man pooping on the seat that Connor's putting up. I would love nothing more than to become Player of the Year at Ballsville. I love this place. I love these people. I love all of you. And it's been a great ride for me. I love Ballsville, and I'd be very proud to be Player of the Year at Ballsville. So I'm taking that. All right. So with that said, I'm going to keep you guys here for just a little bit longer, and then I'll start letting you loose. We're going to do Jimbo's hot takes. Last week, I was 1 for 1. I was wrong about the Mbuka getting 3 touchdowns. He only got 1. But however, I was right about the Chiefs losing number 2. and the Chiefs did lose to the Eagles. And I'm going to go ahead and pick that up right here and say I'm taking the Giants and the 6 points that Vegas is providing, and I'm also going to take the under 44.5 points in week 3. I say the Chiefs lose. I believe the Giants could win this outright, but since some points are sitting there for free, I'm going to take that. Jay, what do you think about that hot take?
I love it. I think, like I said, I think that they're on a downward spiral and trajectory. So I'm down. I agree 100%.
Alex, what do you think about that hot take?
Oh, that's correct. That's a tough one betting against the Chiefs, but I mean, this is the year to do it if you're going to bet against the Chiefs.
Ethan?
I love it. Chiefs are having problems running the ball. Chiefs don't look the same. I mean, Chiefs have had 2 tough matchups. Giants just came off of a hard loss. I mean, they just hung 37 points. They're going to be coming out with some offense. I think Giants could win it outright as well.
All righty, guys. You know, the wife said to me sitting on the couch after one of these shows one night, she goes, it's Taco Tuesday, right? And then she said, I think you should always do 2 hot takes for 2 on Tuesdays. So a 2 on Tuesdays. My second hot take for tonight is I believe that the quarterback, Mr. Browning, for Cincinnati Bengals, I believe he will win 6 out of the 10 out of the next 10 games. So if he gets 10 games before Burrow gets back, I think he wins 6 out of those 10. What do you think about that, Jay?
Oh, I think I think that's light, and I think he could definitely do 6. Again, they have a lot of talent out there, and again, all he has to do is let his players make plays, and get the ball in the hands of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, whatever tight end they got going, whether it be Gesicki or Noah Fant, and he can definitely get 6 wins out of there.
Ethan, I'm going to ask you. They play the Steelers twice. You think he can take Aaron down twice, or you think it's a 1-for-1? I think it's only going to be one of those.
I think it's going to be 1-1. I mean, I think I think it's still a good rivalry. They got, I don't see Aaron not taking one of them games. The Steelers, they're going to finish around 500, probably higher, like they do every single year. And it just depends on who they got the next 10 games. They got a semi-easy schedule, like they got the Browns again, and they got some easy games thrown in there. I could see him pulling out 6 of those. Why not?
Right. What do you think, Alex? You think this Browning backup quarterback can fill the seat till Burrow gets back?
Just like Jake kind of said, like if he could get the ball to his playmakers, he should be able to squeak a couple games by. I mean, they have some pretty easy games. They have a couple tough ones, but yeah, it's gonna be
all right.
To see that.
All right. This is where we're going to start wrapping up the show. Alex, I want to say thank you to you. Thanks for coming on. It's been fun to talk a little bit of rugby, a little bit of college football. It's really cool to see how you've grown and come through life. Alex, stay tuned to Ballsville. Get involved. We'll get you into Ballsville next year when we start doing some drafting. And thanks for coming on the show, brother. I appreciate you. I'm going to say good night.
Night. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Ethan, I'm going to step you aside over here for just a minute and hold out while I say good night to Mr. Jay. Jay,
yes,
I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank you for everything you do in the Devy world. I'm really looking forward to you and I kicking off some Devy leagues here in Ballsville, getting things squared away. I appreciate your knowledge of football. I think you make the show better than it was 2 weeks ago. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and good luck in week 3, sir.
Thank you. Best part of my week, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
All right,
appreciate you. All right, Ethan. It's just me and you, kid. We're going to talk a little bit about this gauntlet thing.
Let's do it.
What really is your strategy? Is it the points? Is it just making it to the guillotine week? Are you trying to get more than one of your teams in? What do you think the best strategy is for this gauntlet going forward?
Okay, so the best like mindset to have is to I believe just do what you got to do. Obviously try to get the high seeding. That's also a bonus. But yeah, get through the guillotine because I mean it's 4 weeks. I mean that's going to be a third of the league that's eliminated. If people who are in, most if not all of them, they see that I have different strategies. They see that I trade players for fab for players. It goes both ways. Some leagues I have tons of fab. Some leagues I have the best 3 running backs in the league. Like I'm all over the place, and honestly, it's kind of just a test, a theoretical test, just to see where I end up. My goal is to take down the crown in the Gauntlet League. Win the whole thing. That's my end goal.
Let me ask you this: Do you think the strategy is okay? Now I know that you really don't give a shit about fab. I get it, but are you spending the fab right now on some of these guys on the waivers that are replacing hurt players to try to get through, or are you saving that fab till guillotine weeks when all these players start getting dumped back out into waivers?
Well, first off, I do like fab. I have a league with 700 and a league with 500. I mean, leagues that I do stack it up. And honestly, I'm not gonna touch that weeks 1 through 8. I mean, if other people, if that's their strategy, if there's somebody like, Juwan Johnson out there, just he's a monster right now, or somebody that you really want, that you need for your lineup, or somebody that can replace injuries, go ahead. I'm all for it. Some people I've noticed have some questionable, moves. Picking up. I seen somebody pick up Waller for $50. Sorry if that was you, but as we come through the guillotine portions, which is only a 4-week. It was just only 4 weeks. It's not a season-long thing. So, I have no problem like getting rid of fab or keeping fab. I want, I just want to try it. I've never been a part of a 4-week guillotine.
Right.
But I would try to maintain. I think the best strategy, like I said, if you want to go a different way, anybody go ahead. But I think the best strategy would be to, if you want to keep it. Or if you want to trade it, make your fab worth it. Get your star players. Don't just get like a little waiver pickup and he might not be good next week. Make it.
Now going forward now, and I'm going to close on this with you. Going forward for next year, do you want the league median scoring or do you not?
In my if I run leagues personally, I usually don't play with league median. Not like with 12 to 16 people. If it was up to me, I wouldn't want to have league median. Like higher leagues, when you might play a team that that just is.
I get it. I get it in 24 and 32 guys, and maybe
I'm the same way.
I just don't like it in this format. I'm hoping that we do some voting and change it. I'm not going to say too much about it now. I'm loving to see how it all shakes out, but I'm not a big league median guy, so that's one thing I'm not liking about it.
It's not a deal breaker to me, but yeah, if I had to pick, just in a 12-team league, you're going to play some teams. Sometimes it's going to be a strong team. Some teams it's going to be a weak team, and you'll squeak by. But it's just part of fantasy for me. Like for a 12 team, everybody, you're going to have that all season. You might, I had a team this week. I put up 180 points in a Pirate League and played somebody who put up 220. And I had the second highest points. It's no league median. It's just part of it.
Right.
And some teams, some weeks I'm going to have a weak team beating a weak team. If I had to pick, I would choose without it, but
All righty, Ethan. I'm going to say goodnight to you too, sir. I appreciate everything you do for Ballsville. I appreciate you being so active in all the chat, in the Discord. I know everybody loves you. I like having you on the show. Thanks for being a co-host on the show on Tuesday nights. I look forward to every night you're going to be here. So have a good week.
Yes,
have a good week 3, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on. Go Bucks.
All right. All righty, guys. We're getting down to wrapping the show up. And what a show, huh? I think it was a fun one. I know we went a little over on time, but I think it was worth it. I'm learning, guys. Be patient with me. I'm just a old truck driver, construction worker at heart, trying to do something I love to do here at Ballsville, and that's bring some good content and a good show to you guys to help entertain you throughout the week. And I hope I can do better at it. I'm struggling on the computer side of things with the slideshow and, trying to produce it. I miss Sarah. Sarah's a good kid. And I really look forward to watching her shows. She produces them so well. Don't forget to watch her tomorrow night. Her shows are great. Her and Chris, sorry for cussing. Appreciate you guys. And, you guys take and look at your waivers. I know in each league it is kind of different, whether it be with the dynasty or with the redrafts, and just look it over and grab what you want. Look at the money side of it and really look at it. Don't overpay if you don't have to. Look at what your team needs. There's some talent out there. Don't forget Aaron Jones is probably not going to play either. So, you're probably not going to have Mason, but you might want to trade for him. So it's not always about who you can pick up on the waiver wire. Think of who you can trade for. So get out there and get active because them waivers are going to bust loose tonight. So y'all have a good night, and I'm going to check out. It's been real. It's been fun. Thanks, guys.